What's up, Net Soldiers? I'm Net Alliance, and welcome back to another review. This is going to be reviewing episode 2. If you guys want to check out the episode 1 review, I'll leave the link to that in the description below. But a quick little brief explanation to my situation. If you hadn't seen episode 1, I had the flu since Saturday, and it's now Friday. And I'm feeling a lot better, but I'm still recovering. So if I sound like I'm sick, that's because I still technically am. Plus, my box corner over here, there's a cat hiding and I can't get him. So we might see him. So if you see the cat, point him out to me and I'll grab him. So before we jump into episode's 2 review, I just kind of want to do a little recap on episode 1's review. For me personally, I actually liked a lot of episode 1. I thought that episode 1 of The Mandalorian was some of the best TV show stuff I've seen in a long time. So that was really cool, and it really made you feel like Star Wars was back. You know, like the magic of Star Wars was back. And I was looking forward to episode 2. So, with that said, episode 2 comes along, and here are my thoughts. I thought it was good. I really liked it. I'm not gonna lie. Baby Yoda creature, probably the cutest creature I've ever seen in anything. That's definitely probably the cutest creature in Star Wars right now. It has officially taken it. It used to be Jar Jar, but I think this little Baby Yoda, it took it. Actually, there were a couple times where I was like watching The Mandalorian doing stuff, and he just kind of has the baby nearby, and like in my mind, because I'm like a dad now, before I didn't really think about that much, but now that I'm a dad, whenever I see a baby near trouble, instantly in my head I'm like, get that baby out of there. Or there's one point where he jumps on the sand crawler and he's starting to get pulled away, and I'm thinking to myself, where's the baby? You can't just leave the baby. But then they cut to a scene where the baby is following them, so I'm like, okay, then that's at least good. Also, bravo on the CGI. There are a few things that look kind of like TV show-ish CGI, but like it's nothing terrible, and overall it's just altogether just really good looking. I love that, especially the beast that they just introduced with the rhino horn. I thought that thing looked great. Like that was like movie quality, and that's what I wanted out of this, so that was cool. Now, this episode also confirmed my theory from episode 1, that this little Yoda creature is actually force sensitive. So from this can go a lot of different ways. First off, why did the Empire want it? Second, why would they want it dead or alive? Do you know what I mean? Because if it's force sensitive, it'd be one thing. If it's alive, they can maybe raise it to help them. Or maybe they want to experiment on it and use something from it to do something else, you know? Now, I'm sure we're going to see that kind of come out as the episodes come out, but I think that's actually really interesting. Especially since I think we have like 6 episodes left. And the interesting thing about these 2 episodes we have so far is that they're kind of like one episode. Like the episode 1 was more of like part 1 of the story, and episode 2 is more of like part 2 of that entire story. So that part is completed. Now they're going to move into its own episode, and I'm actually excited to see what they're going to do with it. Will it be as cool, as cohesive, as gritty as the previous episodes? I don't know, but I'm going to guess these last 2 episodes were really good, and if they were able to do that, episode 3 is going to be amazing. So overall, I can't really think of any cons. There was no point where I was just like, ugh, you know? It was great. So, episode 2, good job. Now, with the review out of the way, let me get down my thoughts on what might actually happen. So first off, there's one thing that I just want to see happen, I think would just be awesome. I think as the episodes go on, the Mandalorian's armor is going to get upgraded. He's eventually going to have all silver armor or something. And then the very last episode, it's going to get destroyed, you know, and then like maybe season 2 is going to be about him having to rebuild it or something like, I don't know, but that's probably what's going to happen. But what I want to see happen, I want to see him come across maybe like a Jedi, you know, like someone looking for that baby, you know, and maybe he kills the Jedi and then he gets a lightsaber. You see, for me, there are 2 things that are just the super top tier coolest thing in Star Wars. You have lightsabers, and you have Mandalorians. We have not seen, at least in canon of course, a Mandalorian wielding a lightsaber. Technically, in Legends, Boba Fett gets a lightsaber for a little bit, and he wields his own. This is something that I think would just be awesome to see. I would love to see the Mando just eventually get a lightsaber. And even though he doesn't use the Force, you know, he could be essentially just holding the lightsaber until the baby gets older, or he could be using the lightsaber as just like a melee weapon. I mean, honestly, I'm not surprised that more people just don't have lightsabers just kind of hanging out. You know, I understand that lightsabers are still not really effective against blasters if you don't have the Force, but if you can wield a lightsaber like a sword, that's an instant win in a battle. Do you know what I mean? Because you could be fighting someone else with like a staff or some type of like melee weapon, or even like a real sword, or you can have a lightsaber, slice right through their weapon, and then slice right through them. So I would just like to see him get a lightsaber, and I feel like it might be temporary, but I actually think he's going to get one eventually. So that's just off the top of my head. So on to the real stuff that I'm pretty sure is going to happen. So I actually think the Mandalorian is going to turn over the baby initially to the Imperials, and they're going to be like, oh, very good. Don't worry, we'll take care of him. And then, of course, he's going to be like, okay, I'll leave. And he goes to leave, and then he finds out, oh, they're actually going to kill the baby and siphon its power or something, or maybe like drain its blood. And he's like, oh, no. I'm not supposed to get personal with my jobs, but I'm not letting anyone kill that baby. That baby's cute. That baby has the Force. That baby is just, it's just cute. Can't let it die, you know? And I'm a good man because I'm a Mandalorian. You know what I mean? I'm not just a guy who does it for the money, you know? I do it because I actually care about people. Okay, so I might be exaggerating a little bit with how he'll have a change of heart type of thing. But like I mentioned in my episode 1 review, this Mandalorian is not a Mandalorian we've seen before. For those of you who don't know, if you haven't played the Old Republic, when you see like the actual Mandalorians, they are ruthless, hardcore killers. If they think that you are weak, they do not worry about you. You know, there have been clansmen, or leader of clans, who had kids who they saw were weak, and so they had them killed to show how strong they actually are. And that's how the Mandalorians initially were. They were just ruthless brutes, you know, ruthless warrior races that didn't care about anything, and the only thing they valued was strength. So if you were too weak to complete a mission, or didn't matter who you were, if you got sick and you got left behind, that was it. You know, if you were weak, you lost. That's just how it was. You know, even like clans would have wars for years because the head clansman would be there, and then eventually he would get sick or something, and then the second in command would kill that clansman, and then he would be the clan leader, and then that's just how it always was with the Mandalorian. So this is a different type of Mandalorian that we have not seen before, and that's why it's a big deal. You know, that's why this is a massive deal for a character like him to be like this. And as I stated, Mandalorians don't follow weakness. They don't help weakness. And a baby that you don't even know, that came out of nowhere, a normal Mandalorian would look at that thing and leave it. That's all they would do. It's slowing them down. It's weakness. I'm out. That's what they would have done. But this Mandalorian, as we can tell, he's a good guy, and he's gonna do the right thing. So there's my review and my thoughts for episode 2 of The Mandalorian. And then, of course, some ideas I had for episode 3 and beyond. So what do you guys want to see happen later on in this series? Do you like the idea that maybe he actually like gains him as like a son? Or would it be more of like a pet? No, it's not really a pet. So how would you guys feel about it? Would you like to see the Mandalorian actually maybe gain this creature as like a child? And then maybe the child will join his ship crew. And I don't know. It's one of those interesting things because the baby is like intellectual, but also still an infant. It's just crazy. I don't really know how to really describe it, but it's super cool. It's super interesting. It's something we've never ever seen in Star Wars. So I think that's why it really is appealing to a lot of people. But that's it for this review, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more videos. And until next time, guys, I'll catch you later. Peace. Now moving on to number 9, show us Rey's training. Now the most recent trailer has shown like Rey running around on this like tree planet. Looks like she's kind of like using the Force to maybe do some type of training. I like that. We have yet to really see Rey actually train and actually make herself better at using the Force. She instantly is just good at it. And I understand there are people out there who are just naturally good at things, but there is room for improvement for everybody, and it would be cool to see if Rey's already this strong without even doing much. She should be possibly incredibly powerful, maybe on the scale of Anakin Skywalker or even Yoda, when if she actually started practicing. So I really want to see more of that. I want to see her powers kind of become stronger, even if like the movie begins with her doing like a training montage, and then like we find out, oh, she's been training for the last year or two, whatever the time skip is. She's been training since the end of Last Jedi, so she's been really pumping it out. I'd be okay with that. So give me something like that. Make it seem like it makes more sense, because the prequels have shown us that to be a actual Force user, you have to practice. You can't just be great at it, unless of course you're a Skywalker. But even with that, you know, that would also connect to Rey, if Rey is a reincarnation of Anakin Skywalker, as my theory goes, or whatever. Give us the proof. Now, of course, we're going to find out what Rey's true origin is, but that's not actually on this list because I know that's definitely going to be in this movie. But yeah, as far as Rey's training, show us why she deserves to be as powerful as she is, not just give her powers because she's the female lead and females can do nothing wrong type of thing we got from The Last Jedi. So let's not do that. Let's actually make her a character. Let's make her a good character. Overall, I actually like Rey, but I don't really know why I like Rey. So give me a reason to really like Rey. I think the reason I like Rey is because I don't really care for any of the other characters. I guess I just like Rey because she's the Jedi character. So pretty much give me a reason to believe that Rey deserves the powers that she has, and therefore, in turn, I can like her more as a character. So, sounds a little complicated, but if you think about it, it's really not that complicated.